All right. Well, hello and welcome everyone to the 6th episode of God, what was the name? Oh yeah, Drawing Night with Crimson. Well, we're still here. We're still drawing. And, well, I didn't announce any of the plans for tonight on Patreon. Because, well, there aren't any specific plans. There is one plan. So, for tonight, we're going to be finishing the piece from last week, the Ranger, this time around. Because in the meantime, while in between recording sessions, I did finish the Raptor, which looks like this right now. Just let me group stuff up so that everything is correct. So right, yeah, that looks like this. And after that, if we'll still have the time, we'll go over to page 2 of Midnight Call to finally start work on that. So, yeah, I think we'll just go straight on in. So firstly, I need to grab one more piece of reference material because I forgot to grab it earlier. Now, where can I find it? I know, it will be in the rulebook art folder. Let's see. Here it is. Right? right. The little frontal cover of the helmet. Now for the night vision goggles. Those are like the caps covering the goggles, I assume. If you don't want to use them and don't want to damage your lenses. Or anything like that. Alright, what does camo netting look like? I see. Hey. Am I right? Hello. If there's anything wrong with the audio, please do tell me. Because I was doing some changes to the audio setup for recording in specific, so it is a very much different setup than I had previously, so if there's anything wrong, please do tell. Welcome. Great. Hello. Welcome. Should probably do some more detail on those bullets, but at the same time I'll also have to do the background today for this piece, and like honestly, no one is going to pay too much attention to those. They're such a small part of the image. Yeah, don't prioritize my streams over your studies. As to what I'm drawing, well, as I said in the start, we're continuing the piece from last week, where I finished in between streams the Utahraptor, which I'll show in a moment, and now I'm finishing the Ranger that's kneeling in front of the Raptor. At least finishing, that's like a big statement. Let's see how far I get. If I manage to actually finish it and have the piece done before the end of the stream, then I'll start work on the manga page. And if not, then I'll just finish the Ranger in between streams, and then next week we're going to do stuff related to manga. If the stream next week is going to happen, because it might be another off day for me, because that will be March. So I might take that day as a day off, though I might also do that on my birthday, we'll see. So, funny story about a little side project that I'm working on. At least I'm part of the team for. Sadly, it's not a paid gig, but what can I say? But I'm right now working as a essentially story consultant slash art concept artist and cutscene director for that computer game. And I can say one thing, going over from comics to video game cutscenes isn't that much of a change. At least with the way that how I drew comics. I say that as past tense, as if I stopped drawing comics, I still draw them. But yeah. Sadly, the project is a bit of a development, like it is progressing, but there is a little bit of a development hell that the project is stuck in. Mostly because of upper management that wants to control parts of the project that, from what I've gathered so far, they have more or less no idea what they're doing with. Yeah, it's that sort of sentiment where you have a YouTube movie critic try to make their own movie, and well, it turns out horribly. That's about the quality of upper management we're talking about here. Of course, no disrespect to anyone, but I know that the people that are actually working on the things that they are judging and wanting to throw out, well, they have way more talent and experience on doing what they do than the upper management. And I'm not talking about myself here because, well, I am a newbie. technically speaking, I shouldn't even be part of that team because of me not being properly set up in the hierarchy, but I was just picked up by the guy that organized the thing. And, well, I'm there now. Not much that they can do to throw me out. So yeah, directing cutscenes. I will say that I went for a pretty interesting series of cutscenes today. So, first few were essentially converting a in-game already pre-existing cutscene, but instead of it being rendered in engine, it's supposed to be rendered now outside of engine, as in a 2D animated cinematic. Kinda in the style of the Homeworld games, if anyone here in chat knows what that means. But the plot essentially follows this, like, well, your player character, which is the commander of a faction, going on a fairly routine mission to just check out some research stations, and then stuff immediately goes haywire, as it often does. Now the fun stuff is, there is actually quite a bit of a horror-esque and mystery setup to the entire scenario, to the entire chain of missions. And, well, the main problem with that is that one of the aforementioned lead developers, let's call them that, has decided to make a certain judgment on a certain aspect of this storyline, and this has completely sabotaged any sort of thematic resolution to the horror aspect of the scenario. Like, at some point during a briefing for the mission, you're just told what the monster in the box is. You're just outright told, and from that point on, everyone is expected to just know what that thing is. And yeah, not gonna lie, I'm not that much of a fan of that. Especially with the 6 or so cutscenes I have already made that, planned out with concept panels and layouts done. They just decide that, yeah, no, all of that work, might as well not exist, because it's useless. But oh well. Hey, if all goes well, the guy that I work with will have more or less full creative control over the campaign by the time that, actual work is put instead of just doing placeholder content and proof of concepts. So, yeah, when that happens, I'm going to be pretty happy, because that means there will be some pretty nice and interesting story in place. And if not, then oh well. I can only hope that they don't completely gut the concept of the campaign in favor of doing multiplayer. And of course, for reasons of not putting anyone into trouble on the team or in the organization. Well, mainly because, you know, as I said, I probably shouldn't be in the position that I'm in. Then I'm not going to say what game it is or, you know, give any more details. Just be aware it's an RTS game. God, this is such a funky stock for a sniper rifle. Also, one thing, we might have to have a break during the live stream because there might be some commotion that will be going on in probably, I don't know, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know. There might be some commotion going on that will make it completely impossible for any of you to hear me, or to hear the music, or to hear anything. Mostly because of the dogs barking. So there might have to be like a 10-minute, 15-minute break, maybe more, hopefully not. We'll see. Right, I should probably start getting on the armored plates of the vest. So as I said last week, this guy is not supposed to be a Solar Samurai, so that's why he doesn't carry any of the insignia of the faction that the Solar Samurai are part of, which is the USOT. But he does carry a vest from their armor set, because well, the equipment that this character uses is actually written out equipment from a tabletop role-playing game rulebook that I'm working on. Something that I actually practice a lot when designing characters, at least when it comes to the Crimson Punk setting, which is that I either get one of my friends or I sit down myself to write down what's the actual equipment of the character, and then I just use the already designed set of equipment that I have to draw the character. For one, it gives the setting a sense of, you know, this stuff actually fits and works together, as opposed to everything being kinda disjointed and, you know, I just feel like drawing something so it's going to work. I feel like I'm doing a better job at that. I feel like there is a bit of a stylistic cohesion to Crimson Punk. So I might be wrong. Who knows? Style is maybe draw this gun more steampunk. I think you're trying to say steampunk. It probably will get a lot more steampunky when I get to the rest of the gun. Mostly looking at this bolt. God, that's a bolt. Where the heck is my throat medicine? I feel like I should take some probably. Because I ain't speaking much because of two reasons. One is that well, I don't know, I'm just not an experienced streamer and I'm not used to constantly speaking. And the other is that my throat kinda hurts. Oh well. What now? Yeah, the middle of the scope. No. The aforementioned dog barking is going to begin in a moment. And it has already started. Alright, I'll just mute my microphone for a bit. Right, the situation has more or less calmed down. Hello, Dad. What did I read last time? What do you mean by that? Are referring to your comment? I did read like maybe putting a pipe on the gas stock, I guess the gun stock. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We're damned. No books. Damn, I haven't read any in a bit. The last one I read was Outpost by Dmitry Glukhovsky, which is it's a post-apocalyptic novel about an outpost located, I believe, on the Dnieper River. Not sure. Or even Volga, one of those. I don't remember exactly, but the thing is, the river is heavily irradiated, and the outpost is located on a river crossing, on a bridge. I mean, not on the bridge, but next to the bridge, a railway bridge. And the reason the outpost is there so that the post-apocalyptic Russian state army has a prepared position to launch expeditions across the bridge and to also hold the bridge in case of any incursions from the other side, any invasions from the United States, which the some of the locals still believe are happening. Now, the story follows essentially a teenager, I believe, that was like, he was like, what, 18, 17, something like that. A character he's a half gypsy, half Russian, which causes a bit of problems for his family. A kid from the family of the essentially leader of the outpost, and well, his adventures with trying to court a fairly stuck up girl that fucks around and finds out a bit with a young dashing military officer that arrives one day, stays there for like a couple days and then fucks off. So that's funny. The consequences of her actions got to her in around a couple months, and the main character tries to, like, at least 60% of the book is focused around the main character trying to get a phone, like an iPhone, to work, so that he can win over the heart of this fuck around find out girl. It's so fucking funny to me now. I mean, back then it was funny when I was reading it. Like, this book sometimes reads like comedy, despite it dealing with some pretty horrible things, like an entire outpost having to deal with famine because Moscow is not sending them supplies and has not been doing that for quite a while now. And but the funniest thing is that, like, well, as I said, most of the story is focuses around this kid, and he like goes off to ruins to talk with skeletons and spend his time there, or, you know, trying to court this girl that... Oh yeah, funny detail about her is that she used to live in Moscow, but her parents died during the apocalypse, I think, and like she's 2 years older than the protagonist, and I mean, not during the apocalypse, but something happened, they died, and she lives with her grandparents, which one of them is, I think her grandfather is blind and her grandma is either deaf or something else, I don't remember. So yeah, that's, and like a bit of the plot line follows her trying to like find a way to get back to Moscow, which the Russian officer guy was part of that plan, but it horribly failed because the guy, at least presumably, he dies on the other side of the river, but I don't remember if that's how that ends. Anyways, yeah, I don't remember the ending of the story. I know that the kid at some point, like the protagonist at some point, goes across the river and then comes back.
but he doesn't remember what happened on the other side of the river, and then the POV switches to that of the captain. And essentially, like, I don't know, the story at times is pretty hard to follow, but I really like how it's told and the pacing of it. So yeah, in general I can recommend Outpost. Like, I did give off quite a few spoilers, but like, let's be honest, without context you're not going to understand too much of what I just said. I just spouted out random details. So yeah, that's the last book I read. Other than that, I've been doing some studies on the Beastars manga and the style of that. And alright, so funny thing about the Beastars manga, and keep in mind this is only my baseless conjecture on what I spotted when I was reading the early chapters and the early issues of that manga. And that's because right now Paroi Takagi's style is way different to what it was at the start of Beastars. And I will say that her style has shifted a lot. And by that I mean that, like, it's still Beastars, don't get me wrong, or Beast Complex now. And alright, so let me get to the point. The story itself is written in a very specific way because it's a high school drama with anthropomorphic animals with all of their weirdish animalistic traits. And well, you can really see that it's a story told with anthropomorphic characters that's being told not by a furry. And how do I know that? I know that because of the way the characters are portrayed. So, you know the meme with the furry spectrum, where you go from a human to a human with animal ears, and then you go step down until you reach the point of this is furry, where you just have essentially a human with animalistic features, which is kinda what I'm drawing, but that's more intentional than just the intent of hey, I want to draw a human with some animalistic features. And then you have the Uncanny Valley, where you have an animal with human features, and then you have just an animal. So Paroi Takagi's work is in that Uncanny Valley, where her work is more animals with human features than humans with animal features, and therefore sometimes it looks really off-putting. Now, I was trying to understand how the style was created, and I came to a conclusion. And my conclusion is, well, it's fairly simple. It's that the style is raw. As in, it's not actually, like, a lot of the stylized elements of Beastars come from loose lines and just drawing with sheer line confidence. So you have lines that aren't, I wouldn't say not purposeful, because they have a purpose, they try to convey something, but they are like essentially as if you're doing the first take of a voice recording. And is that what it looks like? And by no means am I criticizing Paru's work, because, well, I really enjoy Beastars, the manga. The anime, not so much. I did enjoy the very first season. The second one was okay, and on the final one they kinda lost me. Because of the pacing changes and the change of the order of scenes, and essentially, like, they changed a lot of stuff when it comes to the order of showing things, but not exactly the plot, and this causes some issues to my understanding of the story. Because I know what is happening and I know what's supposed to be happening, but the order of the things happening is way out of whack. So essentially, what I was looking through and studying was this, what's it called? was the chapter where I was studying two chapters. One is chapter issue 16, because that's a point where the style has been really refined and is more or less cemented in stone. And issue 6. Issue 6 mostly because of Juno existing there, and that character is just... I come back to drawing her every now and then, because that's a Alright, so fun fact for those that might know my original DeviantArt days, but the very first artwork, I believe, on... Alright, outside of my Brawny days, the very first artwork that's fairy related on my DeviantArt was a little art piece based on Juno. It was just based on I think it was based on a panel from the manga. Possible, don't remember. Anyway, so where was I heading with this? What I meant is that the art style is very raw, and by that I mean there isn't much refinement in it. It's essentially... it has the vibe of someone's sketchbook drawings, and that's what makes it so hard to mimic, because essentially you have to get, like, you have to understand, you have to get in the flow of just rolling with the lines. Like, you can't dwell on every single thing you're doing and every single line you're placing, because you have to keep going, you have to keep going, you have to keep going. Because if you start correcting your mistakes, correcting too many lines, then it doesn't look like Beastars anymore. And once if you make a mistake, then it's also not going to look like Beastars, because mistakes in that manga are more often than not masked by making them look like they were intentional. So yeah, that's like, it's honestly a very interesting thing how that was done, how that was drawn. And keep in mind, I'm not exactly like, you can see my artwork is publicly available. I'm not that good of an artist, so my analysis might amount to nothing, but well, I hope it was at least a little bit insightful. My little rambling session. Yeah, I might cut that out of the video and just post it as a standalone Crimson rants about Beastars for X minutes. So yes, thank you for that comment, Piramido. I hope the answer was exhausting enough. Oh god, the dogs are back to barking. Right, the ruckus seems to be gone again. We'll see for how long. And it's back. Jesus fucking Christ. Right, that seems to be more aligned with the perspective of the gun. Right, gun. We are truly gunning in this community. Only real gun. Jesus Christ, my throat. Oh. Damn. My doggy was given a large bone to chew. Nice. He might be even calm for a couple minutes. That's surprising. Alright. I need to get this line straight. Alright, let's see this. Something with the perspective is very wrong. Though I'm not exactly sure what. I think it's the stock area. No, well. Oh, I know what's wrong. The line, the gun is too wide. because it should go like this here. Maybe I can still fix that. Just make a wider magazine. Have oddly stacked bullets. It's a box magazine now. It's the extended magazine weapon modification. That's why it's so wide. It's a very weird looking sniper rifle, not gonna lie. Alright, there's a bipod to be added there. Right, this is a holster for a gun, so it's going to be... I'm not going to show what gun it has, because like his hand is over it, so I'm just going to have it be like this. And voila, a holster. He also has some grenades straped to his leg, so I also have to do that, draw those. I'll finish the cape on that leg. Oh, I remember why I was not supposed to do a live stream next week. It's my cousin's birthday. So yeah, I'll have to do a live stream on my own birthday, I guess. Probably. I need to check the calendar. Yeah. Alright then. For that day we're going to do a slightly different stream in that case. Yeah, I'm going to post it on Patreon as well, but yeah, we're going to do the same idea as before, which is community suggested drawing. Yippee. So yeah, essentially, if you are subscribed to my Patreon, even for free, so just with the notification stuff, there will be a post for subscribers where you can, for followers, for subscribers, essentially for all tiers, including the free ones, where you will be able to, well, comment your ideas for March 16th and what you want me to draw that day. And I'll do it, just like last time. So yeah, Wolf Ears Sephiroth is not out of the question. So be careful what you wish for. I mean, I know that the rifle is in a slightly weird axis. I'll probably correct it off stream. Because that just involves a lot of going back and forth on stuff. That's kind of boring. But yeah, I'll fix the axis because it also keeps bugging me. Jesus Christ, dog. What the heck are you doing? Damn, that's a weird way of hitting a bone. So my dog decided to try and pin down the bone with both of his paws, but they're slipping off, so he just keeps essentially bringing himself up and almost jumping on my bed while he's eating the bone, and it makes a lot of noise and it's really funny looking. I believe my dog might be defying physics. Well, you know, he's still like a little puppy, so you know, he doesn't know about physics yet, so you know, no one can get angry at him for defying physics. Once he'll be old enough to learn physics, then you know, people can get angry at him for not understanding them and not complying with laws of physics. But right now, it's too little for that. Alright everyone, I'm sorry but we'll have to end for today because, well, quite frankly, I have forgotten to take my dog for a walk and I should do it about now, and that's going to take like 30 minutes, so yeah. I'll have to leave you all for now. I'll finish it throughout the week and post it on this piece on my Patreon when it's done, including on my DeviantArt and other stuff, so yeah, thank you for watching, and sorry this one is shorter. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to upload a normal YouTube video to my account at some point, because I'm working on something with a couple of people, and well, it's not going to be drawing related, it's going to be a video game challenge round. I'm ready or not, let's see how that goes. Alright, so yeah, see everyone.